And now we are live now. All right. That's last time we doing it.
Tweet these before we go live. Fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I tried.
My mother might be listening.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, man. Technology is fickle, boy. I be feeling older every time I try to stream. But ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are blessed. We are not stressed.
Highly favored.
We are highly favored as we welcome you to episode 16 of the Splashcast, aka Saturday morning, episode 62. How did I get 16?
Yes, I was about to say, what he really meant to say was episode 62. If we go back to 16, boy, I mean, we would be vet in the game.
Vets in the game, bruh. Vets in the game, man. So we wanna give the Splashers a few chances to come out and join, man. We want to say appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Also, yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, we are excited about basketball free agency, aka as the world turns, because there is nothing but mess and it is constant, and we like chaos.
Chaos.
It's been Reggie's running theme for the last week and a half. Chaos.
I love it, dog. I love it. There ain't nothing else to talk about, Shadi. So let's get started. Y'all know we are an Atlanta sports-based podcast. We are Braves fans. We are Falcons fans. We are Hawks fans. And then we separate into Bulldogs and Florida Gators fans. But
Bulldogs is funny.
Bulldogs?
Insert your Atlanta joke there.
Insert your Atlanta joke. Insert is a funny word, too.
Got him.
But as y'all know, the Hawks just signed main man $100,000, aka the guy that frustrated the Hawks more than anything. One of the few players that actually frustrated Trey was DeJounte Murray. The Hawks have signed DeJounte Murray, traded DeJounte Murray. I think we traded Gallo and 3 picks. Kind of, sort of, 3 picks?
Ish.
3 picks-ish. How you feel about it?
Well, I want to start out by saying that the Splashcast has been a longtime supporter of DeJounte Murray, a.k.a. DJM.
We have.
If you've been listening to us, if you saw my ranking of point guards, I may or may not have ranked him above Trae Young due to his comprehensive skill set of offense and defense and rebounding. But this is a pick that I'm very excited about. I have some PTSD from the what's his name, Deshaun Watson fiasco where we.
Yeah, man, they had announced the whole thing, and you was like, nah. I was like, dang, dog, you ain't that excited?
Fool me once, can't fool me again, quote George Bush.
Fool me once, can't get fooled again.
So, yeah, I was playing this from very close to the vest, but to actually see him in a Hawks uniform, there may or may not have been some tampering going on. We will take it by hook or by crook. Today we're happy. I want to thank Gallo for everything that he's done. Best of luck, my friend.
Yeah, man. So the thing about DeJounte Murray, right? He's 26 years old. His averages shot up from I think he was like 10 points, 12 points, 14 points, 14, 5, and 5. Like Kevin Huerter numbers. Like he was giving you like Kevin Huerter numbers, and then once everything changed and he was able to get full control of the offense and they started running things through him, he went to 20, 25, 8, and 8, 25, 8, and 9, almost averaging a triple-double. He had 13 triple doubles last season alone, which broke the Spurs record. So when it comes to being a facilitator and a person that could run the offense, he's definitely more than capable, and Trey will have to play off the ball. But we brought him here because of what? To bring in defense.
Well,
Tell me how you think about how his fit is with Trey. Like let's just shoot the shit. Hey, we got it. We got DeJounte Murray. We out here. We addressed one of the biggest glaring weaknesses on our team was perimeter defense in the backcourt. So, what does that mean for our team going forward?
well, I think the reason DeJounte Murray is such a good pick is he fixes multiple issues for us. We were looking for a better secondary creator.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Herter, for all as good as he is, and I think he is a good player, he just can't really be. He can't run the point as a point guard. And we tried and we tried and we tried, and he just never could do that. And he couldn't get people involved at a rate that we were looking for. DeJounte Murray does that at a high level. We've seen it with less talented players.
So here's the thing about
Also,
DeJounte. Oh, go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Also on defense, he does the other thing that we need the most. And I'm sure if you listen to the podcast, you heard me say this about 1,000,000 times. He's going to do Trey's homework every night. On defense, that's the guy who's going to be able to guard Trey's guy, which also helps us because now Hunter can now guard our second best wing. So you'll really be able to hide Trey. And then, of course, Collins and Capella will do their own jobs, pending Collins is still a Hawk as the season goes on. But
damn, I forgot my hat. I'll get there. My tin foil.
Gotcha. I was like, you definitely got one on. But so he's a good fit. Now, I do want us to have some more realistic expectations. DeJounte Murray with the Spurs was DeJounte Murray with the Spurs in limited other help. Do not expect him to be Russell Westbrook like he was with the Spurs.
Well, that was my point. I wanted to bring up to you is kind of like he was in like the John Collins situation, right? So DeJounte Murray and John Collins was drafted 1 pick after Giannis. He came to the Hawks when we were clearly about to rebuild. We had maxed out that roster of Jeff Teague, Al Horford, Kyle Korver. We had maxed Budenholzer, the coach. We had maxed out that roster, right? So, I mean, Eastern Conference Finals, best record in the league, number 1 seed in the East, undefeated in January. With that roster, I mean, to lose to LeBron, getting swept. Paul Millsap was on the team too. To lose to LeBron was frustrating because we got swept, but it wasn't unexpected, right?
What? Yeah.
It was
LeBron James. LeBron James.
And we literally had nothing for that guy. But then we drafted John Collins, and he comes in, and we clean house except for him. He's the only one here. Literally the only one here.
A veteran at 24, 25 years old.
Right. Travis, he was 19 at the time. Travis Schlink comes in and he starts to try to put the pieces back together. John Collins averaged what?
20 and 10.
20 and 10, 21 and 12 when he was here by himself. Then Trey comes.
No. That first year it was like 10 and something.
No.
But
Yeah,
that was,
first by himself. The first year.
Yes. Yeah, but remember he didn't play. I mean, he played, but he wasn't. At that point, we were at the end of the rebuild. He's the very first principal block. So if you're at the end of the rebuild, you're still playing with all the guys who are the leftovers.
Right. I'm talking about the first year that it was just him. After we had done the rebuild, he averaged
he was. I mean, he was all right, but if you look at his per 36 minutes, he was good. But if you look at his stats, mediocre.
And then they started focal. I mean, the focal point became on John Collins. He had to play the 5, and when they put him at the 5, he started outrunning the bigs. He was rebounding. He was getting 21 and 12. So we thought John Collins was going to be a building block, which we still think he is. And then Trey comes, and Trey is ball dominant. And John Collins' numbers take a dip every time, and Trey comes in and assumes that he is the man, et cetera, et cetera. You could take from that what you will. DeJounte Murray.
the first year when it was Collins and Trey, that's when he was 20 and 10. He was a monster. We just hadn't we weren't mature enough, and we didn't have the other pieces around yet. They saw that, hey, this is a solid foundation. We got JC, who, remember, he was either, I can't remember, it's either 17th pick or the 19th pick.
19.
They didn't expect him to be there, and they didn't know how good he was. He had never shot a three, or I think he shot one or two threes playing for Wake Forest. So you just weren't sure what you were getting in that guy.
Right. So my point though is when the focal point came on John and stuff started running through John Collins is when his average went up. Same thing with DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray, when they cleaned, it was almost the exact same process. The Spurs were coming to the end of their dynasty. Of course, he's only in his 5th year, and I think so. He got drafted in like 16, 17. But, at the same time, you had Kawhi Leonard who was there. You had all of that stuff. They were coming to the end of the dynasty. Kawhi Leonard, I think his knee was acting up. He was almost ready to go because at that point, the Warriors had pretty much claimed the spot from the Spurs in the West. So his numbers were mediocre his first couple of years, and then the offense started running through him the last 2 years, and you see a spike in everything that he does. And they built pieces around him. But, it's going to be hard for San Antonio to get like that major star to come to San Antonio. I think the biggest star they got was DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, when you get a guy that low, it's kind of difficult to identify the talent and be like, oh, okay. If you drafted him at 25, you don't probably expect this guy to be an all-star that quick. You expect the guys, the lottery picks to be that guy. They kind of found him, and then after you find him, you got to kind of ramp him up. And of course, the Spurs are excellent developers of talent when they believe that they have talent.
And now that I think about it, the Spurs' opportunity to try to create a team around DeJounte Murray that could win now was them going to get DeMar DeRozan. That was them trying to make DeMar DeRozan DeJounte Murray's running mate, and it didn't work out. So at that point now, they got Keldon Johnson, they got Lonnie Walker. They're in the same position as the Hawks. They got all of these assets, right? They got Podol. Is it Podol? P-O-L? P-O-L-T-L?
Jakob Poeltl.
Poeltl with no R. Poeltl. Yes. So Jakob Poeltl. Sorry. Jakob Poeltl. So they got my point is they got all of these young pieces, and now all of a sudden you have multiple assets that you're going to have to re-sign within the same amount of time that the Hawks had multiple assets they had to re-sign, right? You were going to have to re-sign. We talk about it all the time. You had to pick between the three, Herter, Hunter, and Reddish. You're going to have to pick 2, and 1 have to go. Well, the Spurs took it another way, and they said, well, we got all these young pieces. DeJounte, there's no way that we're going to be able to re-sign you, rebuild the team, and you still be happy in your prime. So the Spurs, being the class act organization that they are, decided to trade him, and the Hawks pounced, which is why he released he released this statement, covered you up. But anyway, now that we have, it says they didn't want me to just waste my years rebuilding and stuff. They want me to see me win, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They basically wanted to see him win. So now that they have him in, now that we have the Hawks,
what? I want to be. This is what I want to say about that situation. It's a very, very nice way to put it. But what that really means is we probably weren't going to re-sign you, and we probably weren't going to be able to get you to re-sign. So we would rather get assets in return. Now, I know that we want to say the politically correct thing, but at the end of the day, this is a business. And while the Spurs have been struggling, they're very clearly a very excellent run organization. So make sure, I always like to talk about the things behind the obvious conversation. This was an asset move.
It was definitely an asset move. I think that they weighed their options of re-signing him. I think from what he's saying, of course, words are hollow in press conferences. But if you take it for face value, what he's saying is if it wasn't for Atlanta, I would be in San Antonio. It means to me, San Antonio, by them re-signing you to the Supermax contract, the team that they were going to be able to put around you probably wasn't going to win a championship or even come close. So at that point, they decided, okay, we keep fan favorite DeJounte Murray, all second team defense with the potential, or we load up on these picks. We already have Keldon Johnson. They already let Lonnie Walker the fourth go because he was kind of up and down. They got all of these young assets, and they was like, well, we got all these picks too now. So now they can go out and get somebody if they want to.
And
so I see what
also
they were
for
doing.
them, that allows them to clear the books.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we can get everything out of there. We have tons of cap space and we have assets. Let's just do a fire sale. Either, and that's how you know that they're a good, well-run organization. They're very realistic with themselves. What we have right now ain't gonna get us there. And if we can't get there or anywhere close, set it on fire. Try it again.
How does the backcourt of DeJounte Murray and Trae Young work on offense? Who is the primary ball handler? Is it both? Do you cut it down 50%? Who is who, and who is the facilitator, and who is the off the ball person?
Everybody is going to have a coming to Jesus moment,
Including Nate.
individual. Yes, hell yeah, Nate. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to come to Jesus moment because we've Herder and Gallo are really good assets,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna have to play those young guys and have faith in those young guys. They're good enough that they're gonna be able to fill those spots. And then you got the Holiday twins back there, who I think they specifically went to specifically for their brother when they played Milwaukee. I feel like Trae is going to have to, if he wants to be Steph Curry, my friend, today is the day that you figure it out. You're going to be Steph, come on off that ball. Because DeJounte Murray is a inside the arc player. Clint Capella is an inside the arc player. Collins is better inside the arc, but he can do well enough from outside the arc. DeAndre Hunter, the same thing. So for spacing, Trae comes off the ball. He should be able to shoot more open shots. Definitely not doubled anymore. And I would think that you're going to have to pick your spots. It's going to be matchup basketball. I'm not going to get there yet, but it's kind of very similar to the same thing I think about Rudy and Cat. You're going to get 48 minutes of excellent point guard play. You stagger them, and then you decide if you want to go offense. Hey, these are my 2-3 best offensive guys to put out there at one time. Oh shit, we're getting our ass kicked. We need to stop. Then, hey, this is the team that we run with. Or, hey, this is the lineup that I want to run to start the game. And I think that Nate is pretty good about rotations and letting players play. So I think that everybody should. Now, John Collins, once again,
Hold up.
you're going to be here.
You said Nate is good at rotations and letting players play? You mean, explain that for me, because my counter is we had two players that probably could have played right then and there. Probably three that should have been in the rotation that he did not let play.
No, I'm specifically talking about the players who he respects enough to actually get on the floor. If you can't get on the floor, hey, bro, don't even come over here. Don't knock on my door. Ain't no, hey, how can I get on the floor? It ain't going to happen. But the guys who he does trust, I think he does a good job of managing them. But you clearly are either trusted or untrusted with Nate. There's no happy medium.
Yeah. So, do you want to get into the John Collins talk and see if he's going to stay or go? Or you wanted to save that?
I'm going to be very brief and succinct with my opinion on this. Hey, John Collins, this probably stinks for you being an all-star, but if you want to win, this is the place to do it. There are other places, but it's going to be very difficult to find a better situation for you. And Atlanta Hawks, you need to have the same understanding. There is no replacement for John Collins. Well, I have scoured the internet. I have looked at every depth chart. I've looked at every player. For what he does, there's not a better player, because if you go get a guy who can't shoot, now you got DeJounte Murray, Clint Capella, and that guy. all kind of in the same, in needing to be in the same spot to do their job the best.
I love John Collins. I hope he stays. As you said, to win, I think this is the place for you. I think DeJounte Murray will unlock your stats. I don't know if you make an all-star just because, but I honestly don't know if you are on any other team in the East if you would make the all-star team. If you want me to be honest, just because
Oh nah, Pacers.
there's okay, even if he goes to the Pacers, it is the starting four is always and forever Giannis. Will always and forever be Giannis until Giannis decides to go to the West to the Lakers or you move. But if Giannis is in, oh, I know he's talking about Jonathan Isaac. If Giannis is in, what's up, Sneaky? Sneaky talking about Jonathan Isaac. If Giannis is in the whatever conference Giannis is in, he's going to be the starting four at all times, unless he gets hurt. Like Giannis is that dude right now. He's going to be that dude probably for the next 5 to 7 years. So you're fighting for a backup role as the All-Star, and at that point, it's really more about a popularity contest versus actual numbers. So I don't know about the All-Star thing if John Collins, unless he goes to the West, I don't know if he'll really ever start at the four for being an All-Star. But
Wait, hold on. Who other than Giannis? KD coming out of there. Remember that.
Bam Adebayo.
Well, I think that if John had a reasonable amount of shots, he makes it very difficult on Bam Adebayo, to be completely honest.
And that was my next point. I think DeJounte Murray, while I did say it's going to be hard for him to be a starter or be an all-star, DeJounte Murray gives you your best ability to be an all-star right now. DeJounte Murray and Trey will be able to shoot and be more of the off the ball. DeJounte Murray's whole existence is getting in the paint, causing disruption, and finding the open shooter, or finding, if you notice, Jakob Poeltl and although I would say Zach Collins, he's just hurt all the time, but Zach Collins actually played pretty well with him as well. So DeJounte Murray can find your fours and your fives, especially if Nate, this come to Jesus, you said, Nate, we ain't running just pick and roll now. Pick and roll can be our main focus, but you're going to have to be offensively innovative. You've got DeAndre Hunter, who we are betting on. We are trying to convince John Collins to stay because he literally does everything that we need. Now, I will say if Bam Adebayo does become available.
No. You can go ahead and get that out your mind. They have made it very clear there are two untouchables on the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. Now,
if KD talk about Jimmy Butler and
no, they're not moving Bam. Miami is not going to supersede their culture for anything. They've kind of shown that we'll find some players. We'll find our own players. That's one thing about them. Oh, don't worry about it. We'll find the guys who
we're good.
Need.
Don't worry, we're good.
and we'll sift through those guys until we find guys that we like. If you brought Oladipo back, not a chance. If you're not a Miami Heat guy, that's the reason I said that Kyrie Irving was never going to Miami.
Yeah.
Pat Riley can't tell him what to do.
Yeah. So, but to me, John Collins with DeJounte Murray, I think John Collins goes back to averaging 18 and 10. I would actually probably go 20 and 8 just because there's not going to be that many. There's not enough rebounds to go around. You got if you keep Clint Capella, there's Clint Capella, John Collins, and DeJounte Murray averaged 8 rebounds himself. So
what? He ain't going to average that no more. I mean, hopefully
he doesn't average that anymore.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be mathematically possible. Clint is the rebound champ. Collins is, for all intents and purposes, a 10-rebounder guy if he's not standing next to the rebound champ. Hunter is now going to be more in the post, and he's going to be closer to the basket because he won't be at the perimeter because DeJounte Murray will be guarding that guy. So hopefully his rebounds go up. You would actually hope that DeJounte Murray's rebounds go down drastically because he'll be playing on the perimeter, and those other 3 guys will do their job.
So this conversation, because now I want to talk about DeAndre Hunter and what we expect from him.
Shoot.
DeAndre Hunter, we are, for all intents and purposes, we're betting on DeAndre Hunter is the best of those three: Cam, Herter, and DeAndre. Hence why
And
we're
full stop. There is still a possibility that DeAndre Hunter is the best player on the Hawks team because he has the most universal skill set.
he can guard everybody. He can guard the 4 through the 1. He's the thing about him is with making this trade of Kevin Herter to Sacramento, you have to shoulder the scoring burden now, right? Your scoring his scoring has to go up. He is now going to be viewed as, especially if we make another move. He is viewed as he's going to be he's the offensive creator. He's going to be the one that's going to have to. He can't just be a spot up shooter anymore. Nate, we can't just have him standing at the three doing anything like that.
There. I disagree there because you would think that you're going to have Trey as your primary ball handler. You're going to have DeJounte Murray as your secondary ball handler. John Collins, if you keep him, you're going to have to feature him in the offense. That's the reason I think that if you're going to commit to John Collins, you got to trade Clint Capella for like a Miles Turner type of guy so that John can flourish in the paint. I think that.
You think they do that? Are they going to get rid of? I don't know I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know where we are after this.
If you keep Clint, which Trey does like Clint more than he likes John, then you trade John because John's just burning in perpetuity now. He first option, he's going to drop to the third option because DeJounte Murray's going to have the ball in his hands. And you can't have Clint Capella sitting there eating up all the rim runs, oops, all of that, and just stick him in a corner. Because so yes, you either double down on Collins or you trade him for assets or for a player. I'm trying to think of like your boy who played with the Phoenix Suns with
Cam Johnson
with the Locks. No, with the Locks. A guy who is probably a smaller four, but
Jay
can
Crowder
stand in the corner. Yes, like a Crowder, your PJ Tucker type of guy who will just get out of the way and let everybody else flourish and then just play defense.
If you're gonna do that, then you talking about Hunter needs to be that way, or you talking about John Collins?
No. I'm saying that if you're going to keep Capella, then that's the guy you need. Your PJ Tucker, your Crowder, sit in the corner. He won't ask for. He'll get whatever shots come to him. He's not mad. He doesn't have to be featured. He can hit the shot that you need him to hit, though.
I like that. He is body weight wise. He's bigger than John Collins, but John has got him by 4 inches, 3 inches. So he's 6'9". So, I just think this works so much. And good point, Sneaky. Hunter has to be consistent on offense, which is true. Hunter does have to be consistent on offense.
But he'll be playing less deep, less defense, but he won't be chasing around Kyrie anymore either.
No,
that'll be DeJounte's job now.
Yeah, DeJounte Murray basically is going to do what Cam Reddish was supposed to do at the end of the day.
Exactly. That is the reason that I am not upset that we traded Cam Reddish, even though I would like for him to come back. And yeah, he should do exactly what we want. Defense and also facilitate.
Yeah. Now that's another point you just brought up. I wouldn't mind bringing Cam back, especially now that you got rid of Herter, and Bogey is always perpetually hurt. But Cam, although he did get a slice of humble pie in New York, which was part of our doing because we could have traded him anywhere else.
He's still getting humble. Now, I want to address that too. One thing that Travis Sling is gonna do is once he's done with you, he is gonna send you to hell. He sent Kevin Herter right on over to Sacramento. Like, hey,
well, that's why because we don't want to play you. We don't want to play you. We sent you to the Knicks because we knew that you weren't gonna play. Kevin Herter, we don't want to play you. Plus, Kevin Herter didn't ask for a trade. Cam asked for a trade.
I do think that
I'd have kept Herter though. I'd have let Bogey go.
I do think that Bogey's motor runs so hot that you can't You can't. I get it.
Yeah, but he burned up the engine every 2 weeks. He be out every
Boy,
3 weeks.
Hey, you got to crack block. Got to crack block.
Hey, man.
Got to shut this thing on down. Shut it down. Shut it.
Every time, bro. Bogey averaged 30 points for the month of May. Or the month of April. And all of May, Bogey got a hurt knee. He's about 72%. You be like, dang, dog.
That's the reason they got both Holiday brothers. And all they want defense because you're gonna stagger Trey and Murray.
And Bogey. You're gonna stagger those 3 guards.
Well, you wouldn't have to. When Bogey's healthy, he'll be your 6 man every time. And as soon as, in my head, I'm taking Trey out first because Nate likes to do that. Play Trey, let him come out, put Bogey in, let Murray run the paint. I mean, run the show. Then you're going to bring Murray out, Trey and Bogey, because Bogey and Trey both want to shoot the 3. Murray not trying to shoot the 3. So you're trying to stagger the times that you have your guys who can shoot the ball. It's beautiful if everybody stays and acts like adults.
Man, and Nate, I keep bringing this back to Nate. We can't be running, and Trey, because Trey does foil some of that stuff. But Nate, we got to run more exotic offenses. You've got to be creative in getting people open, because just having people stand in the corner and run point, pick and roll, and then have Trey just, all right, Trey create. If that doesn't work, it ain't gonna happen. But
I will say it's also about Trey's respect. I don't think that Trey respected Kevin Huerter, which is kind of the reason that I wanted to trade him. He just ain't tough enough. He don't have to get up and go like, hey, let's go kick some ass. So Trey's not going to defer to you unless he respects you. That's one thing I have noticed. Trey doesn't respect you. He don't care about you or your opinion or anything at all. Get out of here. But I think
that's that Kobe stuff. Kobe used to say that I don't respect you if you don't work out like me. I don't respect you if you don't do this, that, and the third. And it's like, yeah, y'all can have that mentality, but you're not Kobe.
Exactly. And that is the conundrum with Trey Young third. But I do think that him being able to broker this deal and getting a guy who he likes, the ball is in your court now. Mm-hmm. You got your guy. You asked for this guy, we gave him to you. We let you shoot every shot. Now it's on you squarely now. Yep. We've given you've been given every asset imaginable. Cam Reddish, Huerter, Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella. Bruh, look at Luka. Luka out there with dead meat now.
You go with the Luka talk. All right, man. We without doing our entire Hawk segment today, let's get. I really want to play Diddy, but I didn't have it ready. The chaos, ladies and gentlemen. The chaos. I said I wanted chaos, and then it died down, and there really wasn't too much going on, and then an atomic bomb went off, a.k.a. your man Kevin, a.k.a. the Slim Reaper, a.k.a. Mr. Seattle Supersonic. No, he's not. A.k.a. Mr. OKC, a.k.a. the greatest shooter. Yeah, nah, yeah. The greatest shooter of all time, the greatest scorer of all time, has requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. And for the first time in recent history of any player requesting a trade, nobody really blames him. You know how dysfunctional an organization has to be for him requesting a trade.
I blame him for that.
Okay, let me get there. So he has now requested a trade, and he allegedly listed a couple teams that he would like to go to. Phoenix or Miami. This is probably one of the most short-lived super teams of all time.
Was it super?
It's hard to say because they never actually played together. So, and the one time, well, they were supposed. No. Aha, Sneaky said we knew this would come back to Luka. But no. It was supposed to be a super team. It was supposed to be a super team, but it wasn't. Why do you blame KD for this? I don't blame him for asking him for a trade at all.
Okay. For me, it's very easy. He is the top 20 player. He's the guy. He let Kyrie run James Harden off. Then he let Kyrie basically melt down this organization and not say anything or stop anything.
That's my
and
point.
Now he wants out. Well, no, you can't set my house on fire and then be like, well, you're right, you should leave. No, my house wasn't on fire till you came here. You could have extinguished the fire and said, hey, Kyrie, either, first of all, you should have traded, if you could, you should have moved Kyrie instead of James. You bet on the wrong horse. And I know a lot of people want to say that James is washed up. I just don't believe that. I believe that James was out of shape.
You saying they making the same mistake that OKC did back in the day? Picking Ibaka over James. They picked Kyrie over James. So is James one of the most disrespected players in the league? Is that what you're is that what you're saying, Norwood?
Yeah, yes, I am saying that because anytime that people say James Harden sucks, I'm like, so when did he fall off a cliff? Then you go back and be like, oh, last season?
Last season?
One season makes you fall off a cliff. Maybe, just maybe, you're dealing with Kyrie Irving and one of the worst teams in the NBA when Kevin Durant is not playing and Kyrie is not playing, which we saw exactly how bad that team was at the end of the season.
Yeah.
When they're the only team in the playoffs that got swept. You're asking him to do a whole lot with nothing, and this is a team that he didn't have an offseason with because he had a hurt hamstring. You need to have realistic expectations. But when James pops up in shape, and he takes his pay cut, and him and Maxey and Embiid go to cooking, I want y'all to keep that same energy. I'm like, oh, wow.
And if it don't work, you need to keep that same energy too.
I absolutely will. I've eaten crow about Boston every damn episode, but I do it with a smile on my face because if you're going to have takes, eventually you're going to have some of them that are wrong, and I'm okay with that because most of mine are right.
Okay. What is our thing that we started to say as a friendship, as friends in our friendship group? Agree to disagree.
Respectfully, you gotta put the
respectfully.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, man. But
wait. What part do you disagree? Have I not come on here and said that? Hey, the Celtics.
I'm not disagreeing that you have eaten humble pie, and I'm not disagreeing that some of your takes are right.
I'm talking about supersized humble pie too. Like, go ahead, bring me a McDouble out this joint, and I did it. It comes with life.
So, with KD, where do you think he'll ultimately end up? Because the package that he's saying he wants, apparently he's giving demands like, if you trade me to the Heat, then they got to keep Kyle Lowry, Bam, and Jimmy, which unless the Nets, unless they know, him and Kyrie know something that I don't know, like the Nets are about to just buy them out at $250 million. There's no way that could work. You can't have $400 million contracts on one team. You can't have it. You can't have four players that make $30 million or more on one team. It's impossible. Kyle Lowry makes $35 million.
I'm not a spiteful person, but I am a petty person. And if you set my house on fire, please don't tell me, hey, I need my next accommodations to be plush. Because I'm going to tell you, go to hell. Right to hell. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Take your ass to hell. So for KD to be like, hey, you're going to trade me here, maybe they have a relationship that is better than I assume.
Yeah, Sneaky, you see that? Keep Kyle Lowry. That was part of his demands. He was foolish. Foolish.
First of all, I don't want Fat Lowry anyway, and I don't think Kyle Lowry really.
Fat Lowry, Lord Jesus, you done called him Fat Lowry, Lord. We gotta say it again, just so y'all Fat Lowry, Jesus.
That's what they called. I mean, that's been the thing that they kind of insinuated. Well, yeah, we expect Kyle to be in much better shape to start the season next season.
Yeah, you know, Kyle they got Lowry, that. You gotta have 5% fatter. That's it, or something in Miami.
Kyle Lowry has been the same shape his entire career.
Round.
If you think, if you think that this man in his 30s, which I think he is going to suddenly
like
change.
35. He's our age.
Yeah. If you think that he's going to change into Jimmy Butler workout warrior, I think you're sadly mistaken, or he's been wasting his own time. One of the two. But I think that I'm moving on from expensive Kyle Lowry because I don't think that he's worth it. And
I called him seasoning salt, bro.
Lowry.
Y'all so disrespectful. Y'all so disrespectful. Y'all call this man Fat Lowry and Lowry seasoning salt. Y'all some shitty individuals, but it's funny though. I'll allow it.
I'm trying to move Lowry, even though you got 2 years. You're gonna be able to get it expiring next year.
Who is going to get Lowry?
You get Lowry, and you get Hero, which you will believe is good, and you would get Jovic, the guy who they drafted this year. And I would.
Oh, I mean, if they try to do that, everybody's gone. I mean, everybody's gone.
Yeah. I want Yurt 7 too. That big dude's like 7 feet. He can move. He's an underappreciated asset too. So yeah, I want and after seeing what Rudy Gobert, go ahead, give me them picks and pick swap, baby. I want them all right now. Not now, right now. Give them to me.
I'm interested to see how this plays out because you have. Imagine if you had just like bags of shit. You had 3 bags of shit, right? Imagine if you have.
Show me where this goes. All right, cool. This is it. Got 3 bags of shit. One on the left, one on the right, one in the center. Go ahead, my bad.
You've got 3 bags of shit in Brooklyn, right? And I'm not saying they're shitty individuals. I'm just saying you're in a shitty situation. You have 3 shitty situations. 3 Ziploc bags full of shit, and you juggling. No, 3.
Because you got the rest of your team sucks too.
Well, hold on. I'm talking about the 3. You got 3 bags of shit, right? You got Ben Simmons. That's a shitty situation. You got Kyrie Irving. That's a even shittier situation on a flat earth. And then you got KD. This is another shitty situation. So you're juggling 3 bags of shit, and you have to try to make it work to get all 3 bags of shit out of here. With 1 bag of shit that you didn't even know was shit. You thought it was some shit. They said you was some shit, but you said, well, we'll just see how it plays to see if some shit. And then he didn't even play. So he's just a bag of shit on the bench. Talking about Ben Simmons. Then you got Kyrie. You got to get rid of that shit.
Hold on 1 second. Don't joke on me for calling him Fat Lowry, and then you call Ben Simmons a bag of shit.
Well, you call him Brokeback, so there's a lot of jokes.
Back is broken.
That's not what the joke is about. But I mean, that is what the joke is about. But that's what the connotation. That's not what the connotation is for.
I don't care how these people interpret that. That's not what I said. That's a spinal injury.
Oh, you shitty individual, you. Wow, right back to the bags of shit. But you're on mute.
I'm about to hyperventilate.
No, but I'm saying, so like, if you're Marks, the GM of the Mets, them too, the GM of the Nets, like, like, you've got to find a way. You just signed KD to a 4-year contract this past offseason, and now he's requested a trade, and he's giving you a list of also Kyrie Irving has the audacity to opt in and then say, you can only trade me. This is where I would like to go. Bitch, I'm trading you to China. Like, that's where you will go. I'm not trading you to the NBA. I'm trading you to China. I'm not trading you. What? This is where I want to go. You took off 2 weeks for yourself. Now, I'm all for mental health. I'm all for, taking some time when needed. But there is not a job in the world where you can pick and choose to take 2 weeks of unexcused absences and come back and get paid and think it's okay. Nowhere else in the world can you do that unless you're a dictator or CEO or something like that. Now, if you look at yourself as CEO of your brand, then hey, that's fine. But they still sign your checks. So for the audacity,
in the words of my boy Freddie, Hell no.
Hell no. You think I'm a pay? You think, boy, I want to go to LA. Why would I trade you from Durant to LeBron? Why would I get hell? Nope. I'm
Must
trading
be
you.
dope. Or that Fenty.
Boy, I'm trading you to Seattle Supersonics. That's where you going. You better hope they get a team by the time you there.
You lucky I don't slap you real talk. I mean, you ruined the best situation in NBA history. You set it on fire single-handedly.
Well, I'll let y'all know one thing. If the old Nets ownership was there, that wouldn't have happened.
Oh, yeah. Old boy from Russia had him.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Thank you, Chris, for having the moment. I almost made the absolute wrongest of jokes.
I did not mean to set you up there, but that just popped. The joke popped into my head. I was like, ooh.
Eventually, you'll get it, and if you don't get it, then you didn't get it. It wasn't for you.
That's the same owner that paid AK-47. What's his name? Dude from Utah paid him under the table.
Andre Karolinko.
Yeah, paid his salary was like $300,000. I was like, ain't no way they paying him $300,000. It came out he was paying him under the table. So yeah, that dude from Russia would have got you missing. You lucky, Kyrie. You a few years younger than you. Would have been a problem out there with the Russian owners. So we said all of that to say, where does KD? Sneaky caught it. I see what you were about to do there. Where does KD end up? Because every team has a package to offer him. Pause if necessary.
Only thing that I care about is please send him west, either Hawks or to the west. Please don't make it my problem.
Okay, you said Hawks. Who would you give up for him? John Collins.
Gone. Jalen Johnson. Gone. DeAndre Hunter.
No.
Got to.
No, I'm not giving up John Collins and DeAndre Hunter.
And you're gonna have to give up Okongwu too.
I would give up John Collins, Okongwu, Jalen Johnson, and 2 picks.
And probably AJ Griffin.
I'm not giving. That's 6 assets.
No. But you got to look at what Rudy Gobert just got traded for.
Man,
that's
okay. Fuck it. We here. Overrated signings. This is my overrated signing. Gobert is good is a very good defensive player. Cat is soft. 2 7-footers on that team who really can't really play outside the paint defensively. That is one of the most overrated signings, and all that you had to give up. If you and Edwards is going into his 3rd year. You just signed Cat to $244 million. That means you have Cat and Gobert at $400 million over the next 4 years. And you still have to sign Anthony Edwards. And you lost all your draft capital.
So
that's overrated signing. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work. To me, I think there'll be a top 5 seed in the West.
I was on that until I thought about it. And then I looked at it, and this is kind of essentially the same thing that we thought about John Collins and Clint Capella. But I think that both of these players are better versions of that guy. Clint Capella is a very good defensive player and rebounder. But Rudy Gobert is just better. And he shoots 70% from the field. And you would assume that he probably scores more because he doesn't have Donovan Mitchell freezing him out. Number one. Number two,
how does he score more?
Because he will actually get the ball thrown in more than 2 times a game.
Why do you feel that he will get the ball thrown to him more? I mean, more than 2 times a game, yes. Why do you think he'll get a significant amount of more touches in Minnesota where they have more offensive options?
Fantastic question. Because he's the only guy who actually wants to be in the paint. As much as Carl Anthony Towns is 7 feet tall, he doesn't want to be in the paint. He doesn't want to use his body. He would rather stand in the perimeter or shoot a mid-range jump shot. So now you finally do have a guy who is camped in the middle. Rudy had the highest field goal percentage in the NBA last year. So he can score. He shot 70% last year. But Donovan Mitchell was not throwing him the ball but 2 times a game, and he's the guy who has the ball in his hands. So, yes, if you give him more shots, maybe he won't shoot 70%, but I assume he shoots probably about 60%. You got Cat, who wasn't going to use his body in the paint anyway, so stick him out there on the 3-point line. Is it a waste of a 7-footer? Absolutely. But it's kind of the same thing we do with John Collins right now. Now, Anthony Edwards, you're going to have to, and I want everybody to understand when I say this, you need to play Luka-like basketball. You're going to have to be the primary offense initiator. So basically, he will be your starting point guard, and kind of same thing with Trey and DeJounte. So Edwards will initiate early. You'll sub him out. You'll let D'Lo run the offense, and you just switch those guys. So you're going to have 48 minutes of good creation. You have 48 minutes of top-tier center, because there's not a better backup center in the NBA than Rudy Gobert, hands down. So you stagger them.
Backup center?
Backup center in the same way that we use John Collins as our primary backup center when we did, before we had a
That is the most expensive, whatever you want to call it,
I agree,
of all time.
But you're always going to have all-star center qualities on the floor, and then you have D'Lo and Anthony Edwards, who are what we were looking for as a guy who can attack the basket and pass. It sounds crazy until you really look at it. Then you're like,
how can you say you don't hate this, but you despised Cleveland running 3 7-footers?
I didn't hate it.
Yeah, you did.
It
yes,
worked.
It worked after you didn't hate it after it worked. When they did it,
okay.
you killed it.
So I think that Evan Mobley and what's the center name? Jared Allen, they're an excellent tandem. They're Clint Capella and John Collins-esque, where you have one guy who sits in the paint, you got another guy who's more perimeter oriented, even though Evan Mobley is a better dribbler of the basketball. It was more Lauri Markkanen that I didn't like. And he made it work-ish. I still don't think that that's necessarily the greatest fit. That's the reason I think that you need a guy who can probably stand in the corner and shoot threes. Like you need a PJ Tucker guy right there. And a guy who's humble. Yeah. But I'm talking about that type of guy. Your Crowder, who I don't have to have shots, but when Edwards crashes and there's nothing else open, kick it to him, shoot the three, we get on out of here. Well, it's not crazy, but you got to have a coach who understands rotations, and
you got to have a team that's not worried about, okay, I'm not in the game right now, and I'm a $145 million man.
Exactly.
It's about.
But Rudy's used to being on the bench at the end of games if they go small ball anyway. So I would assume that he's probably comfortable with that. But as a coach, you're now playing almost like a video game. So if I need more points, all right, Rudy, come sit on the bench. Cat, go to the 5. Now, and just run the offensive team. Oh, we can't stop anybody right now. Hey, Cat, have a breather. And you'll be able to navigate your team kind of depending on what you need. But you have to have an active coach who's watching and moving rotations at all times. And you actually have the ability to match up. Whoever you're playing with, that's the matchup I want.
I still think it's overrated. There's absolutely I'm gonna have to see it. You're gonna have to show me how.
Who is overrated though, other than maybe D'Angelo Russell, which I don't think is overrated.
The whole combination of having Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns is overrated to me. I think one or the other is. It's hard for me to say overrated. There's no way it's overpaid. There's no way I would have done this move after paying Cat $244 million. No way I would have done that. Me paying you $244 million means that you are the man. You don't need help. You don't pay somebody $244 million that is going to get help at your position, right? You can't play off ball at center. You can't play an off ball center. You have to be. You can't play an off paint center. That don't happen.
I've said multiple times, I think the Cat is soft as Charmin. I think this proves it. I think that it's just a situation where you don't have a way of really getting off that asset and getting a return because he's so soft that you're making the best of a bad situation. But you got a defensive player of the year on a team that doesn't play good defense. I'll take it.
We'll see. We'll see. I there's going to be other moves there because that means their big three is got to be Gobert, Cat, and Anthony Edwards, and that's because you gonna pay Anthony Edwards the max immediately.
Well, yeah,
Although by the time he gets his max contract in 2 years,
Anthony Edwards is offense and defense. Cat is offense. Rudy is defense.
so you paying $400 million for one good player.
One excellent player. Like if you put those two guys together, you got Kareem.
Embiid.
No, you have Kareem.
No.
Yes, you do. You have a defensive. As much as people want to talk badly about Rudy, Rudy's resume looks better than Karl Anthony Towns.
On defense,
I don't
yeah.
care what you say. No, if you look up Wikipedia both of them, you're like, you know what? And Rudy's been to the playoffs way more times.
There's absolutely no way that you can think putting those two together gives you Kareem when neither one of them have post moves.
No, but Karl Anthony Towns
has no post moves.
He's an offensive savant, though. He is offensively. Say what you want to. He is gifted. He can do it all offensively.
What all can he? He can't. He don't have no post moves. How you gonna say he can do it all? He can't score the post. He ain't got no post moves. He can shoot. He can shoot. It don't matter. He can shoot. He can drive off a pump fake. The whole time they played Memphis, he couldn't do shit in the post. It's the post he can't, which is a big man. He can't do. Neither one of them can actually. Neither one of them have post moves to score in the post. Neither one.
You don't need a post move when you're 8 feet tall like Rudy Gobert. Hey, I'm going to turn to the left and I'm going to dunk it. You be there. You be there when I get there, and let's see how that works out. You just meet me at the rim, big dog. And if you block it, you block it. But if I Eiffel Tower your face off, then it is what it is, and I'm gonna leave it right there. Yeah, and I also it's going to be more about. You would assume that Cat is going. You would hope that Cat raises his level of defense.
Why?
Next to Rudy Gobert.
Oh! You thinking you're hoping that Rudy Gobert's level of defense raises Cat's level of defense?
Yes, kind of like the same thing with John Collins and Clint Capella, where John wasn't the best defensive player before, but getting that help and playing against a guy who's a good defender you can learn
Sneaky
from.
Calling you out on everything, bro.
I can't.
Sneaky said Rudy ain't dunking on people like that. Stop it.
Okay, he shot 70% from the field.
That don't mean he dunked on people. That don't mean he dunked on people.
That means out of every 10 baskets, he's putting 7 in there. I don't care what he does. He do a somersault for all I care. As long as you putting the basketball in the rim, I'm a happy camper. That's the reason why. Oh, he's not good offensively. No, he doesn't look cool doing offensive stuff. But if you had a big man, any other big man, you told me, hey, he shoots 70% from the field. You'd be like, oh yeah, that's a guy I'm interested in.
Sneaky said he was open. Anybody?
Well, you would expect him to be more open now that he has more than Donovan Mitchell, right?
No. Okay. Who is your overrated signing?
Oh, you already know. Jalen Brunson. Shout out to the Knicks. $110 million Knicks. It was only supposed to pay him $100, but they paid him another $10 million and hired his dad. Talk about doubling down on the wrong guy. You could have paid RJ. They don't want to pay RJ, but they want to pay Jalen Brunson. Hey, RJ, you get on out of there. Julius, I understand why you're so angry all the time. If we do trade, now I wouldn't even want to send John Collins to the Knicks and have Fire Festival.
So that Jalen Brunson is not your traditional point guard. He is actually more of a Joe Dumars scoring and defensive type guard who's just short. He is not a team facilitator, a team runner, all of that. Which kind of fits into the mold of what Tom Thibodeau likes. And I think out of this whole movement, I think that is the issue that the Knicks have run into, is that they are trying to build a Tom Thibodeau team. And a Tom Thibodeau ran team that we have seen every single year is they start off hot, and then he plays them 700 minutes a game, and then they fade on out at the end of the game, end of the season, and they get hurt. You need somebody that is going to unlock everybody else. Right now, the Knicks are a bunch of players that can go one-on-one and Mitchell Robinson. That's what they really are. They need somebody that is going to be able to they need somebody that is going to be able to facilitate more than do anything else. They don't need anybody that is going, because they have pieces there, but none of these pieces, they don't have a general. They don't have a floor general. And Jalen Brunson isn't the floor general, is guess what I'm trying to say. He's not the floor general, and they need one badly. Honestly, if I were them, I might have made a run at DeLon Wright.
He's not a good enough facilitator either. So for his career, Jalen Brunson has averaged 3.7 assists.
He's also coming off the bench, so they're banking on that. He was coming off the bench most of his career. The only reason he started last year is because Tim Hardaway Jr. got hurt.
Okay, so first year he played 21 minutes, bench player. Second year, 18 minutes, bench player. 25 minutes puts you right at around, it's not starter minutes, but it's damn close. And then this year he played 32 minutes a game.
So he went from
5 assists.
So he basically sounds like he moved up the rotation to the 6th man, and then what's his name got hurt, and then that's why he started.
Yeah, but I mean, if you make this trade, you think to be a $110 million guy, you need probably 7-8 assists. You think that he's going to be able to get you that?
Not with the presently constructed Knicks, and I wouldn't say that's his problem, right? I think I think he can get people the ball in spaces to score.
Spaces, where are they gonna have that?
That's why I said presently constructed. I'm saying they
Mitchell
could.
Robinson inside the arc, Julius Randle inside the arc.
Nah, Julius could shoot threes,
but him at his best inside the arc. RJ Barrett best inside the arc. Speaking of flaming bags of garbage, Evan Fournier, all right, let him shoot. And then Jalen Brunson inside the arc. 4 of your top 5 players are best inside the arc, and you need spacing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, even if that's the case, again, this goes back to coaching, and maybe we were spoiled by watching the Warriors because they shoot so many threes that they create the spacing to be able to run some of the most beautiful offense we've seen. But you've got to be able to get the flow working. If you got a bunch of players, and that's why I say coaches you should be able to build a system around whatever team you got. Right, so if you get Jalen Brunson and you have all these players that really that can't shoot, then either you go out and get shooters, which obviously they're not doing. They're not doing that, or you draw up an offense to where you can get players in the best position to score, and you hope that Jalen Brunson is that person that can get them the ball. What I'm saying is, I don't think he's that floor general that even if you draw up the plays will be able to get you in spaces to score. I don't think he's that player. Bro, I think this was a Hail Mary.
You can't send me ramen, water, and the seasoning pack and expect me to make jambalaya. That's what they got right now. You can't make it out of nothing. And right now they don't have anything.
That's what I just thought you said. You just called Jalen Brunson nothing?
No, what I'm saying is the combination of players they have right now is not. You can ask any coach. You could ask James Naismith, hop out of the grave and try to coach his basketball team. I can't do it with this. This ain't it. And you signed Mitchell Robinson, which I think was a good thing, but now I think you're gonna need to trade Julius for a stretch 4, somebody who can spend more time outside of the paint. RJ is. He's a good enough shooter, but you don't want to reduce RJ Barrett, your future.
You're really only off the ball, off the dribble type shot creator.
Yeah, it's just everybody needs to be in the same spot. That doesn't work in a spacing environment of basketball right now. That's the reason it doesn't make sense. And the only guy who actually helps in this situation is the guy who I like the least, and that's Evan Fournier.
If I were the Knicks and you made this, I may have traded Cam Reddish for Kevin Herter. I probably would have done that because Kevin Herter can shoot, and he could shoot open shots. The Knicks.
As we were talking about that, I was like, damn, this would have been the perfect. But then Kevin Herter, you're gonna play. The issue is the only guy who you can swap out is Evan Fournier.
We don't want him.
Yeah, hell no.
I mean, there's still some shooters. There's still some free agency around, so we don't know what the Knicks are gonna do. But
Right.
similar to the Hawks when they made, now the Knicks allegedly were going after DeJounte Murray too, and they were gonna try to pair the two. But I think that was the pipe dream. I don't think DeJounte ever even entertained the Knicks, according to what he
Trey
said.
and DeJounte said that they've been talking about this for over 3 weeks. Boy, they ain't called nobody over there at the Knicks. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, my agent will take. If you call me, yes, I will answer the phone. I don't know who this is.
Yeah. Just show up. Tell them you know my name, and they'll let you right on in. Hey. I know DeJounte. You're not on the list. You're not on the list. We don't know who you are.
Yeah, are you crazy?
Call him right now. Call him right now. Trey in bed like, it's tight, New York. Popping bottles.
He didn't already broker the deal with the most powerful person on the team. In New York, you thought you had a chance. Only chance.
And you had Pop on board. When you went to the Godfather himself and had Pop on board, boy, New York, New York, y'all crazy as hell. The Don was sitting back there like this with his rings, like, I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
I want to ask for your good grace before I make this move. He was like, yeah, sure.
Kiss the ring. Yeah, New York was shit.
The only people who believed that New York had a chance was New York, and not even. I don't think the Knicks fans even believed it.
Knicks Fans TV. Shout out to Knicks Fans TV. He's been interacting with us over the last couple of months. Shout out to him because he's one of the first. He reported that he was like, this may be some bullshit, y'all. Like,
shout out to my boy Casey. Even if you're not a Knicks fan, especially if you're a Hamptonian, follow Casey, man. He's a great dude, and he's doing a lot of excellent things for Knicks Fan TV. And I think he just got a radio show. So congrats and kudos. We want to always support those guys.
Yeah, man. We support them all the time, man. So, with that being said, I think we've come to the end of Saturday Morning Live. I think we can save the fumbling the bag segment for the actual NBA segment. I don't want to highlight that on Saturday Morning Live. I wanted to talk about the chaos. There's a whole lot of other signings that we'll talk about. Make sure y'all tune in to Splashcast on Monday from Monday Night Raw, where we go live as well, man. Norwood, if we didn't forget anything, take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we have come to another excellent end of a Saturday Morning Live. While I have you here, I do want to go ahead and give you our weekly schedule. We'll be shooting Monday Night Raw, which is the live around the league edition, where Reggie will get into all of the chaos that has transpired.
Chaos.
NBA Horizon, NFL, they on vacation, baseball. Let's be real. The only people who care about baseball are Braves fans.
Oh, yes, we do.
Go ahead, clean that up real quick. So it will be a heavy Monday Night Raw around the league pod. We will come back Tuesday. You guys will get the Atlanta edition, Braves, Hawks, Falcons. Like I told you, ain't a lot, but we'll give you what we got. Wednesday, Splashcast 12-pack will be here. Thursday, for anybody who did not see the Around the League edition live on Monday, it will be on all your DSPs on that Thursday. And then next Saturday, we will be right back here for Saturday Morning Live with hopefully more chaos, because this is what we love the most. With that said, there's only one thing for us to do now, Reg, and what's that?
Before you do that, hey, y'all.
Premature.
This is the Splashcast LinkedIn. We have all of our scrolling slow. All of our Spotify Splashcast, Google, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, the master playlist, the episode playlist, our homepage, Anchor, As well as if you want to reach out to us at divetmedia@gmail.com. We do that as well. We just wanted to show that to you. Go to our link tree on Instagram at the Splashcast and find where you can hear us. We're everywhere. All right. Just wanted to make that sound. All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us. It's been another fun Saturday. The only thing left for us to do now, as Reggie has already told us once before, hang out.
Hang out.
Y'all
Love
be
y'all,
safe.
man.
We love y'all. God is love. Adios.